Good morning, this is Shirley, the herb lady from Alaska. It's peppermint. I use a lot of peppermint tea and peppermint oil. Peppermint tea, it soothes the stomach. It calms you down. Before I got into herbs, I always had peppermint tea. I mean, it was just something that the stomach was just so calm after you drink a cup of peppermint tea. It's one of the most peppermint, it stimulates your system more than any mint there is. It soothes like a sedative for the nervous, restless of all ages. It promotes relaxation and sleep. Peppermint is one of the ancient herbs. It is prized in ancient Egyptian. The sprigs of it had been found in pyramids, and the instruction for distilling oil was found in the ancient Egyptian manuscripts. So it's been around for a long time. For centuries, it's been a social drink to the Arabs. It's also well known in the ancient Greek and Romans. The Greek and Romans used to crown themselves with peppermint at their feasts, and their tables was sprayed with, they would wipe the tables down with peppermint to make it smell really good, but then they would put leaves of peppermint, because all you have to do is touch peppermint and you can smell it really good. The Greeks would scar their dining table with it before a meal, and they would add it to the water, because see, then the food would be digested easy. The Romans used to flavor to stimulate appetite. The Pharisees paid peppermint in tithing. The Hebrews, and I did not know this, Hebrew synagogue formerly strewed the peppermint stems and the leaves over the floor, which yields the fragrance as they were stepping upon it. As they walked into the synagogue, they could all smell peppermint. And see, they did not realize what else peppermint does. It opens up the brain, and you can memorize stuff much better. I think we should do it in all the churches so people can memorize their scripture. Since the herbs was important in religious rites, they paid their tithing in mints for money. During the wars of the Turk, the scouts ahead of the troop not only sent them to the woods to destroy the mint, it was thought that the plant was such a potent that it would turn the men's thoughts from war to searching for country girls. At the end of 1800, they had 100 acres of peppermint. In 1805, they carried it to London, and they started taking the oil from it. In 1850, there was about 500 acres of peppermint plantation in England. And I didn't know they had plantations in England of just peppermint. Japan's peppermint is nearly 90% oil, but it's inferior. It does not repair the body. Germany and Russia and Hungary grow peppermint, and British East Africa. But the United States is the main producer of peppermint today. During the epidemic of a plague, the hospitals was vastly overcrowded, and the English doctors gave the patients sprigs of peppermint to smell and asked the relatives to bring plants of the peppermint to the patients instead of flowers. And I thought that was really neat, because peppermint helps to kill the bacteria, and just take the peppermint and let them smell it. In Holland, the nurses carefully tin and open the tubs of boiling water containing branches to purify the air. The peppermint tea prevents seasickness. It helps. The earliest time in England, it was used to prepare to clean teeth and freshen the breath. Mints growing first become an important agriculture in North Indiana and in southern Michigan in the early 1900s. They grew acres and acres of this. And I lived in Indianapolis, Indiana, 13 miles southwest. Never even heard of peppermint tea. And the home remedies was peppermint helps with cold and flus. It used to calm down people. nervous system. It used to calm people at any age, no matter what the reason was. It relieves pain quickly. You only have to take up to 2 to 3 cups, and it helps to take the pain away. Peppermint strengthens the nerves instead of weakening them, as many of the drugs do. See, drugs weakens a lot of times your nervous system because it short circuits your nervous system, but peppermint makes it stronger, and it has been shown that aspirin destroys the bacteria-resistant protection in man, but peppermint tea, on the other hand, only makes it stronger against any kind of disease in the person. Dr. Schertz recommends making a ready peppermint water to mix to relieve pain, to cure nausea, vomiting, calm the nerves, reduce inflammation in the stomach, intestine, and to act as to go to sleep. Peppermint relieves gas in the system. Many people, because of lack of sufficient of enzymes, or they do not chew their food properly, they have improper combination of food or improper food, suffers from gas. But they drink peppermint tea afterwards, it calms the gas down. Many people take a cup of peppermint after the meal to have insurance against gas. So I guess it's good insurance. In seasickness, you take a cup and you just keep drinking it, and the seasickness will go away. Peppermint tea helps swollen and gangrene, varicose veins, acne, boils, abscess, and eczema. Peppermint is violently disliked by rats. I have people come in and they say, "Do you have any peppermint? I'm getting rid of my mice." I don't think we have rats up here, but back in Indiana, I've seen rats as big as a cat. So, and if they have peppermint, I think everybody should wear peppermint, because especially about the fruit stands. One night I said, "Mom, what is that?" And she said, "It's a rat." And they was around the fruit stand eating the leftovers, and there was a rat, and it was bigger than a cat. Wild mint analyzed. When they analyzed the wild mint that you get out in the fields, it had more vitamin A and C, more vitamin A that is in a carrot, and more C that's in oranges. So honestly, it has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. In the peppermint, in the main ingredients, in the East, they would eat mostly mint in their salad, not lettuce, but mint. I haven't tried something like that, but it would be a strong salad if it's mostly mint. And then you can make a fresh mint, take some fresh mint, put it in a blender, 1 lemon, half teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a cup of xylitol, and 1/4 of a cup of water, and 2 envelopes of unflavored gelatin, and let it stand for a few minutes until the gelatin is soft. And then add 2 cups of boiling water, turn on the blender with the lid, and blend it at high speed, gradually adding 2 packets. You got to pack the cups of fresh mint, blend it until smooth, pour it into a mixing bowl, sit it in the refrigerator, and it could be either a side dish or it could be like mint jello. I mean, anything for digestion. Peppermint butter is made by chopping fine mint leaves and blended with soft butter. This is very nice to put over your cooked vegetables. Peppermint butter is made by chopping finely mint leaves and blending the soft butter. This is very nice on cooked vegetables, especially zucchini and any green vegetable. You can line the cake pan with fresh peppermint on the bottom instead of oil, and then just grease the side. And it gives a wonderful flavor to the cake. And it is said that the only thing you have to grease is the sides. Some people add peppermint tea to their pie crust instead of using ice water, and it makes a good flavor. Now, in the industrial use of it, testing tightness of your pipes. If you think you got a pipe that's leaking or a joint pipe, take peppermint oil and put it over there, and if the smell comes up in your face, you know you got a leaking pipe. It has been made, if it escapes, you will have a pungent odor that betrays the presence of a leak. So that's how you can check for, because we had a leak because I seen our gas bill go up one year, and I said, we got a leak someplace, and it was outside we had a leak, and I didn't know how to check it, but now I know to check it with peppermint oil. And when they came, they checked it, they said it was leaking, and they put a new pipe in. So check your bills all the time. I check my bill every month to make sure it should average out every month about the same unless it gets really cold. When you chew peppermint, it's a cool feeling to the mouth, while spearmint does not give you a cool feeling. So don't think spearmint and peppermint's the same, because it's not. When making the tea, never boil it. Add boiling water to the crush, but you add it. You don't, like I tell people when they buy, I sell mostly red raspberry tea, but I do sell peppermint tea in here. And I tell them, bring it to a boil, turn it off, put a cup, because we got a gallon of water, put a cup of peppermint tea, put the lid on, and let it sit overnight. Then you saved all the oils in the tea. If you sit there and put boiling water in it and let it escape over the out, you see in the steam, you're losing all your vitamins and minerals and your oils. Because back when I was 11, long time ago, I took home ec, and she said never boil your vegetables, because when you see the steam, there goes the vitamins and minerals out through the steam. She said bring it to, and then turn it off and put the top on, and then let it cook just on the stove, either on low heat or no heat at all after you bring it to a hot heat. When you order peppermint, it is good. Peppermint is good to introduce for children, especially if you have a child that's nursing and they won't nurse very well. Put them next to peppermint oil where they could sniff it, or the tea, and they said it gets this sucking motion in the child going. And they tried it several times with children, and some that would not suck, they would suck after they smelled peppermint. But see, peppermint works with the brain, and I could understand that. It says the sucking of the peppermint lozenges stimulates your saliva flow and helps people with dry mouth. The aroma of peppermint oil is extremely refreshing when ability to clear the head, increases mental clarity and alertness, and sharpens it. They did a test on peppermint oil with children, and when they diffused it in the room, they all took the same test. And when they diffused it in the room, and then the kids walked in and took the same test that the other, they got 29% better score, because they could think faster and think clearer with peppermint. And I know I have a friend that did the real estate, and when I was telling her about peppermint oil, she said, they gave us peppermint oil to take. I think the test is 4 to 5 hours long. She said they gave us peppermint oil to smell and keep smelling it to keep us going on that test. Peppermint oil is beneficial for clarity, and it stops dizziness, faintness, nausea, and even shock. Peppermint can lift one mood out of a state of emotional fatigue. So it can really get you being happy. Peppermint is pain reliever. It helps to relieve headaches, sinus, muscle aches. Peppermint can cause blood vessels to dilate and produce a cooling sensation, especially if you have hot flashes. It will give you a cooling, and it increases cognition, performance, and produces a muscle relaxant and mental relaxed effort. Inhaling peppermint helps reduce nausea that's associated with chemo and radiation. I hope you enjoyed this teaching about peppermint, because I've been using it for over 40 years, and in fact I had some today. Peppermint is an excellent tea and oil.